Recording. Okay, so welcome to this Exactintent info session. The point of today is just really for the people already using Exactintent for us to just give a quick run through of what's going on, some tips for optimizing your account. We realized some people jumped on board maybe without knowing so much what the system was about, and figured we'd take some time to go through everything here and also let you know where the product is going in terms of development, what's on the horizon. Here what you're looking at on the screen is our internal dashboard for the account we use for Exactintent, and it's pretty standard. If I showed you all the accounts in terms of the stats, there's been a lot of conversation about the stats, but this 0.16 we're really happy with. That's actually at the high end of a normal click-through rate for this type of display retargeting. Usually you're going to see like 0.04, 0.05, 0.06 with traditional retargeting. Most of the people using the system, not everybody, but by and large, most people are seeing at least 0.08, 0.09, all the way up over 0.1, up to 0.2. So with that said, I think it's important for us to stress that there needs to be a mindset here that this is definitely more about branding, having your logo follow people around, getting a little bit of a higher click-through rate than you would with regular retargeting because it's showing the exact house, the exact item they were interested in, but you're not going to expect the same cost per click here that you would get just running a straight ad from Facebook or from Google to your site. This is totally different than that, right? And with that said, we totally understand if people who aren't in it for a branding play don't want to stick with this. It's fine. This product is meant to do a very specific thing, and that is to sort of make sure that all the people landing on your site still know you exist. And that sort of retargeting pays dividends over a longer term than does the traditional direct response marketing funnel where you're driving traffic to some kind of landing page like conversion, and then you're getting a certain percentage. Hopefully it's way higher than 0.16, right? It's going to be in the at least 5, but it's going to be 10, 20, maybe even 30% of people will take action and become leads. So that's the quick overview on the stats. Let's see here. Just another thing to point out, it will show your latest ad right here, and it'll show you what sites you're showing on. So we are showing on CBS Sports, was one of the most recent websites, CNN.com, Zillow, Zulily. So you are showing all over Google's network, and there is some usefulness there. But a lot of the usefulness is going to depend on your creative. Do you have a good looking logo? If you're trying to brand yourself, do you have like a picture of you? What's in your creative is going to matter in addition to what's in the sort of dynamic portion of the ad where the house is showing. Let's talk a little bit about that. And again, guys, I'll invite you just to ask any questions you might have here in the question section. I think my visual should be showing now, Jory. Maybe you asked that question a little while ago. Just confirm that you can see my screen, everybody. Should be up there. Yeah, great, thanks, Paul. Yeah, so here are the creatives that are built now into the account. Now, for our internal account, I'm not doing dynamic. We're just doing a static campaign with a really crazy looking eyeball. It's just sort of my personal style, and it's getting good click-through as this stuff goes. And you guys are welcome to do your own custom creatives here. You can upload them if you click upload down at the bottom, and you'll notice there are templates for every size, and you'll want to have yourself or a designer go ahead and do this, make the creatives for you. And what you'll do is you'll leave the blank section. You'll leave the blank section for the dynamic part of the ad. Let me show you that in just a minute. We're going to go pretty freeform today, guys. I'm just going to run through everything that comes to mind so that you get a really comprehensive snapshot of everything that's going on with the system. So I'm going to open up a visual editor here to show you that creatives part. Take a step back, and you'll see the creatives we have here for real estate. We have the kid with the house. We have the coffee cup. I bet the kitchen is awesome. And the van. In most cases, these are all performing about the same. I've noticed some really good accounts using the kitchen one. I bet the kitchen is awesome. And for my money, I think that one kind of is the most universal. It's kind of if somebody doesn't have kids, or it might seem a little weird with the kid, and then the garage for your hot rod might be harder for people to get. And we have been talking about adding more creatives here, and you're going to have more options soon, sooner or later. But basically, in these templates, you'll notice that there's a picture of a house. and this is the section that's dynamic. So what's going on is people are coming to your site, they're viewing property, the one they viewed the most, spent the most time on, they're going to see this house follow them around. What I'd like to kind of bring up is that we just launched, we're about a month or two in, and I do think there's probably room for improvement, not only on our end in the creatives, but if you do want to take some time and really think about what's going on up here, it could have an effect. I like really ugly, direct responsey type, bold reds and blues and old school, Justin calls it ShamWow type stuff. So I might be tempted to do, if you liked it, or check it out again, just a big old bold call to action down, or, did you really like this? It's still here, something like that. Maybe with your picture, if you're trying to brand yourself, maybe your logo, something like that. So I'm not saying you have to do that to get results, and don't expect to get your click-through rates to skyrocket up past that, 0.1, 0.2 number. But if you want to take a little time to get creatives professionally designed, that might be something you look at, or you can spend some time yourself designing them and play around. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I opened up the photo editor here. And I don't want to waste too much time on this, guys. I don't think most of you guys who are doing this is the best use of your time learning how to use editing software. But in case you're curious, this is kind of how you might go about doing it. And then we'll get into more important things. Pixlr is free, of course, like a version of Photoshop. Launch web app. And the other reason I wanted to show this was so if you do use a graphic designer, you can kind of give them the proper instructions or direct them to this video. Come on, editor. Just create new image. Okay. Okay. Open an image as a layer just to show you guys the download. Here we go. There we go. So when you download it, you guys can see I use Pixlr a whole bunch. Not at all. Let me try that again. Stay there this time, okay. You see, it says leave this area mostly transparent for the dynamic image to be inserted and save as PNG. Your designer will know what to do there. Basically, you want to make this transparent, and then this is the part where you can do your creative stuff up here, okay. All that fuss just to show you that. So when you download the creatives, that's what you're going to do, okay. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, in the meantime, that we have added more features to the system that are designed to maybe have you spend less impressions and get higher click-through on the impressions that you do get. And this is especially useful for those of you guys who are on conversion. Not all you are, but for those of you that are on conversion, this may be pretty helpful because a lot of the traffic you're getting, of course, is only going to look at one house, maybe two, before they're hit with the registration and they're going to bounce. So what you can do here is you can come down in the settings tab and you can toggle a few new settings that Justin has added. Right down here where it says Advanced Settings, you go Show, okay? And then you can set a threshold, number of same page views to trigger intent. So it's only gonna cookie the person or let the ad start showing to that person if they looked at a property at least 3 times. And I think this is really useful for some of you guys in the real estate scenario. And then this sets, it's an or type thing. Either 3 views or they spend 2 minutes, 3 minutes on the same page. Okay? You can also ignore specific URL strings. I know this may look small on your monitors, but it's down here in the settings section under advanced settings, and you can kind of exclude pages on your site with specific keywords. I don't think a lot of people are ended up getting retargeted for pages that don't matter. If somebody just visits your general search page, it's still going to pick up some kind of image. So I wouldn't worry too much about this, but there are cases where it would matter. And then you can only trigger retargeting on specific keywords right here in the URL. And I guess for you real estate people, maybe that's a certain city you might put in there. So only caveat there is you're paying the base $49 a month, right, for the system, and then you're going to want to have some kind of impression action. So you don't want to exclude everybody. You want to have some kind of activity going on. But if you want to sort of toggle these settings so that you're getting a little more quality and people who are really, really searching, that may be the way to go. You can do that here and you'll get some impressions. There's going to be a fine line though. If you exclude everybody, you're not going to get any impressions, and you're going to be paying the 49 base without much action at all. So so that's the advanced stuff right here. A few more things I want to go through. Let me see if you guys have any questions before I continue. Cindy's saying, how much does it cost? I kind of just explained that. It's $49 a month for the platform, and there's more features I'm going to show you in a minute, and then it's 1 penny per impression. And with some of the changes coming, that may change a little bit. There's some exciting stuff coming down the pike, and I'll explain that in just a minute. How long will consumers who search, will the consumers most house follow them? How long would it reset? I think we're leaving the cookie live for whatever the duration Google allows. I think it's 180 days. I think that's how it works at Google, but I can get that answered more clearly and put it in our FAQ, Paul. But yes, it'll follow them around for a while. And yes, 2 views in 2 minutes is the default. That's what we've left. Instagram style, is that important or not? Very good point. I have no clue, because this early on, we've got about, we've got a nice handful of accounts. We've got a good user base here, but I haven't seen, I can't quantify the difference between using this grayscaling effect, any of these effects, because the people who are choosing these, they're choosing all different ones, and the numbers just aren't that different than what I'm seeing across the board. So yeah, I think it was a cool little like bell and whistle that Justin put in, but really have no way to tell you whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. You might think, for this, just go subjective and say, hey, does this make my image look cooler or not? And what I'm referring to, guys, is this affects the way, if you use one of the default creatives, it affects the way it looks. So I'll choose one to show you. Use this design. Okay, that's how I choose my creative. All right. You'll see what it's doing. It's pulling my logo in. All right, and it's going to have the dynamic section. This is my default image in the background. And then if I go back here to the settings, it should show us a preview. Maybe not. Yeah, there it goes. So if I refresh, you see it's telling you like an effect on this image, the Instagram styles. So good question. I just really don't have an answer. It's kind of a fun thing though, right there. Now this image right here that it's showing me is the default background image. And that's only going to show if the system doesn't find an image on your site to use. So, this is overridden if you use a custom creative all the way and you override the whole creative. I should have mentioned that with the custom creatives. You can, if you want, just have a static banner ad and take out the whole dynamic thing and just have an ad that's your big picture, your website URL, and everything else. And I still think there's good value in this system because you don't have to go through all the management at Google and later with Facebook, which is on its way now. It's sort of a one-stop traffic shop. Makes it very easy to manage all this without thinking too much about it. Great question, Paul. I'm going to get to that in just a second about calls to action. I do want to spend a good amount of time on that. Even though it's kind of a tangential feature, the lead bar is getting people good results, and I really like it too. We're getting some good results. We're using it to generate interest in the product itself, and we are getting a good amount of actions. It says 4 actions for August, but here we've got, like 52 actions, on that lead bar. So it does take some of your traffic and make it do stuff. Okay, so let's talk, before I get into the lead bar, let's just talk about what's coming, just to get you guys a little more excited. I had an article that I posted to the conversion group. We should probably eventually get a separate group here for Exactintent. We just don't have one yet in Facebook. But an article I read last night, people were talking about the click-through rates and how low they were. There's an interesting article here about retargeting on Facebook and the web rather than just the web. So what we're doing right now with Exactintent is we're just retargeting on Google's network, display network, and that's just the web. What we're about to introduce, and I can't give you a flat date, all I can say is that it's close, and when a developer tells you, you know, a couple of days or a week, you never believe them. So, and I'm not talking about, you know, we just don't know. We're still wrapping things up, but hopefully sometime in the next few weeks, month or so, we'll be able to do this kind of cross-channel thing here, where we're not only doing marketing on the web, what you're retargeting, it's going to dynamically retarget on Facebook. And this article is all about how when that happened, people started seeing the ads everywhere, not only on the web, also on Facebook, and the overall effect was that the overall CTR jumped significantly. And also, it just led to, it's going to lead to a bunch more impressions. So any of you who, you know, like the idea of retargeting on Facebook, what's going to happen is we're going to have that option for you, and you're going to be able to set the ratio between the two. We're going to try to set it up so you can set, or it'll at least be a 50-50 split, but I think our biggest wish, if we can get it done, would be that you just kind of toggle the difference between the two. So, yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah, this is a big deal. I mean, you want dynamically retargeting on Facebook isn't the easiest thing either. You know, we're talking about the creatives changing, and it's going to be pretty cool, powerful stuff. I think especially if a lot of your initial traffic is coming from Facebook, for them to then see your brand on Facebook again with that specific house they were looking at. So we're excited too about this. The other thing that we're looking to launch, and I'll paste this article to you guys right now so you have it. Here we go. Send to all. The other thing that we're looking at doing, I don't know how long it'll take, is to actually just do direct display advertising and Facebook ads within the platform that's not retargeting. So you can, if your site's not getting a lot of traffic already, you can still use the platform, and you'll be able to set a ratio there with your budget. Maybe you'll say, hey, I only want to retarget 20% of my traffic spend, but I want the rest to be initial traffic. So we're working up more options there for people. You know, honestly, it's for those of you who, you know, don't love the fact that you're seeing a 0.0, you know, a 0.09 or a 0.1 CTR. We'd like to make the product more dynamic itself and give you more options there for getting traffic. We can see how, you know, for certain, depending on where you're at in your business, how that might not be so exciting where it is currently. And the vision for the product, of course, is for larger, not very small, but for mid to large size brands, companies, you know, teams, if you're in real estate, who really care about the brand being everywhere. But we are going to layer on some more of that direct response, direct traffic type stuff on both these networks. Whew, it's a mouthful. I got to take a breath. So is everybody following here? Little overview of the platform. I'm going to get into the lead bar in a minute. We're working on giving you some more advanced options on, you know, the thresholds for when your ads show. That's already available in the settings part. We're going to add in some Facebook retargeting. We're going to add in direct, you know, just buying of traffic, clicks from Google and Facebook. And then beyond that, you can tweak your creatives. And finally, I want to talk a few minutes about the lead bar, and then we can get going today. I think it would be fun to bring up some ideas for what to do with this lead bar, because it's a pretty dynamic feature. All right. So when we talk about the lead widget, what are we talking about? Well, it's this. I'm going to go to searchandpa.com, show you wallets. It's going to take a minute to load here. And all of you using this probably have this installed. It's going to show up at the top or down at the bottom. I think we put this at the bottom. In some cases, it doesn't look great mobile sometimes. You may get more clicks at the top, but you'll see down here, thinking about selling, see what your home is worth today. And the way it's being used here is that there's just a direct click over to the home valuation page. And, you know, it stands to reason that by having this there, by having something that people's eyes are drawn to before they leave the page or when they first get there, it could drive a few extra leads to your seller valuation page that you might not have gotten otherwise if somebody just came to your site searching for properties. So on a lot of the sites we've set up for real estate, this is the offer we're using, and it's working really well, this exact language. The other thing you can do here is change this to require an email or a phone. if you want. So you can do direct response, collect leads directly from this. Another thing you can do, in addition to making an offer, and I'll give you some examples of other offers in a minute, is you can drive traffic out to social media profiles. So right, Nyack is using this to send people over to their Facebook page, which is a pretty cool, really cool idea, actually, you know, because you're getting more engagement on another channel, and anybody who's already on your site doing stuff, engaging, searching, is a great way to get them looking at your other things here. So there we go. All right, where'd it go now? Okay, so setting up the lead bar. This is on the settings page right here. Okay, and what you'll see is you have the option to have all your new leads emailed to you, texted to you, or texted and emailed. You can display that all the time. Most of the time I've been just having it display all the time. Lead capture form location, top or bottom. You can do dark, light, or red. Now you can have it link directly, you can have it collect an email, or collect a phone number. And this is the action link. This is where it's going to go afterwards. So if you're using it, in this case, we're using it as instantly receive access to a free lead retargeting rebar, and then we're linking out to a squeeze page, a landing page that then has them fill out their info because it's a link option. Other things you could do, and I'll just tell you what's going to work good. I know a lot of you guys are in real estate. You might not love it, but the free list of foreclosures is really going to work pretty well. There's an REO broker down in, I was talking to last week down in St. Pete, Florida, who's using this, and he just, you know, he was getting 1 or 2 a day. He focused on bank-owned properties, and he has a bank-owned offer. And that might be something like free weekly list of foreclosures in, you know, whatever, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, and then he's having them enter an email. He's having them enter a phone, and they're entering their phone, which I found really interesting. He's getting cell numbers. And the interesting, you know, what's really cool about that is that if you're getting the phone number, that opens you up to, of course, texting them right away and saying, hey, thanks for getting my property list. Do you want a private tour? And it can be real open really quick, right? Other things you can do with this bar, you can offer coupons. You know, if you have a retail store, you can offer just build your email list. You know, be notified about XYZ. You can link out not only to your social profiles on Facebook. Maybe you have a video on YouTube that you really want people to see. Link out to that. If you have a webinar, maybe that you're doing, or a recurring webinar you do every week, that would be a great place to put that link. Join us for our next info webinar. And that's what I'm going to change ours to. We're going to start doing this weekly as a bit of a sales and retention tool. Webinars are great, of course, guys. And I'll put a link to that right there so they can go and sign up for the webinar. So there's a lot of flexibility with the lead bar. Do use it. It doesn't exactly tie into the retargeting, other than we wanted it there so that if this retargeting service was used on a site that didn't have great conversion elements already built in, that you'd have a chance of getting return on investment from that traffic coming back. And this will be even more powerful when you're able to just buy traffic directly to your site. You know, if you're getting a lot of traffic, you're going to see a lot of action on the lead bar, is the bottom line. And I'm personally, as sort of, I'm right now spearheading support and Exactintent. I'm involved a lot. I'm very happy to review anybody's lead bar if you're listening right now, and really work on it and help you come up with something unique and exciting that'll help you get extra leads out of this. Because really, at the end of the day, if you do that part right, you're going to get all the money you're spending on the system itself, you're going to get it right there from having the lead bar configured right, whether or not you're getting a ton of traffic from the retargeting, because it means it's all the difference in the world if you have a good hook, good copy right here, and more of the people visiting or interacting with you. It can really have a great effect on your ROI. And I'll just put that out there. If you want me to review your lead bar, or if you want to know what I think about what you're trying to do, I'd be happy to participate, help you out there. I would, Paul's asking what's the best setting, first visit or all. I've been leaving it all, but it's up to you. Better might be to leave it all and then just start playing around every week, change the message and see what really gets good reply. Eventually you're going to hit something, you're going to go, whoa, this thing is getting, you're going to just feel it. You know, if you start offering, Paul, in your case out there in Lancaster, right, the foreclosures, I think if you do the foreclosure offer and you require the phone number, you might be pretty excited about what happens. Yeah, whatever he said there. Paul's saying using the same setup with lead bar at the top loses the ability to search outside of the main banner. Yeah, it affects the searching on some phones. I'll talk to Justin about that. I don't think I've ever brought it up to him as a bug, but on conversion sites in particular, it is interfering, and that's why I've moved some of them down to the bottom on some phones. Did you guys get that link? Could I send it to everybody? Looks like maybe it only went to one person, two. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions or comments? I might have missed something. I know I went kind of fast, but basically Exactintent, as we launched, is meant to be a dynamic retargeting system. The theory being that if somebody comes to your site, they look at a property, a car, house, an item on your online store, that they're going to, if they key on that thing, there's some value in having that thing follow them around. And for better or worse, I know we've gotten some negative feedback and some curiosity about our click-through rates here. Our numbers are actually pretty good relative to regular retargeting, which usually comes in around 0.05. And so the idea is to make it very easy to set up one of those dynamic retargeting campaigns without having to do custom programming, custom banner creation, all the hairy stuff that big brands will only have access to. This is Amazon type stuff, where they have a team of programmers and they can get this done. On top of that, we have our lead bar feature. We're working on some new stuff, to incorporate Facebook and to do some proactive traffic. But that's about it, guys. Oh, one more thing I will mention. Go ahead and ask me any questions, and then we'll get going here. If anybody has any more questions, we do have a partner program. We haven't linked to it from the dashboard. We're kind of bringing it in quietly. That is at exactintent.leaddino.com. So if you happen to know anybody who's a real estate agent, owns a jewelry store, something that sells a lot of different, autos, different products on their website, and you think they'd benefit from this, we have launched a partner program. So it's taking a minute to fire up, and you have a chance to make recurring commissions for referring people our way. Right now we have it set at 15. That's could change any day, go higher or lower. We don't know what the response is going to be to this, or how long we can afford to pay it for. But right now it's open, and you guys can play with that if you want. This is definitely recorded. Send to all. Somebody's saying the phone number is not working. Yeah, we have everybody blocked out. I block everybody because you guys are all muted, so that's probably why the phone number's not working. That could be why. There we go. And just ask me about the partner program. It's right here. I'm trying to chat you the link, but the GoToWebinar is acting weird. So if anybody's really interested in that, let us know. When will you be adding more templates? Soon. It's kind of like on the to-do list. Let me get with Justin again. We want to make them. I can go make some ugly ones myself if you're interested in seeing those, Paul. But yeah, that would be like a Sherry thing. I know she's a little busy right now. And you're welcome to hire your own designers, of course, to do all this. Free is better. Yeah, it's always better. So if you want, I'll make a few ugly ones. Just give me a week or two. But I do want to make a few myself, just have creative urge to do it. So anybody else who wants to can make some and share them with everybody else if you want. There's no. It's fine. Oh, beam style. Okay, so I love that idea, Paul. I want to share this meme creator. It has nothing to do with the topic at hand, but let's leave with a little bit of fun. Anybody who's already an Exactintent member, support at exactintent.com. Feel free to ask us any questions you might have. Again, I'm happy to support your lead bar. Just anything you need, let us know. If you're not already using the system and you're curious or interested, same thing, support at exactintent.com. And then before we go, I'll show you this meme creator I've been playing with. I've been having so much fun with it. GIS. There's a lot of them out there, but the one I'm using is imgflip.com, and you can go and you can make GIFs and stuff. Here we go. We'll leave like this. Why Dynamic retarget. I don't know. But yes, memes would be kind of a cool idea for, I love that idea, Paul, for graphic, because they're so popular now, and I've never seen anybody do that yet, like a meme-styled banner ad on Display Network. I'm sure it's being done, but yeah, really cool idea. All right. Yeah, I've been using them on Facebook too and getting great. That's what I'm using this tool for. I paid the $9 a month or whatever, because in the last few days, if you notice on Even Conversions Facebook page, so this wasn't a meme, but you better drip yourself, and then yeah, this one, you got a list to exist. So yep, if you want higher click-through ratios on your Facebook ads and stuff like that, memes seem to be working pretty good right now. All right. Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here today, Paul. I happen to be in New York for another week or two. If you want to get together, and then that's about it. Just hit me up on Facebook. And great, guys. I'll get the recording live and email out to everybody tomorrow. Okay. Have a good one.